Hi, this is Erin with Grow Your Health Gardening, and I just wanted to share an idea of how to teach your kids the basics of hydroponics. If you have a mason jar at home, just by purchasing a few items, you can grow as many of these as you need or want. They can go in windowsills, they can go outside, but basically this is the Kratky method. Where you put enough nutrients inside with water, inside a jar. If you don't have these nice amber jars, you can just take any white paint and paint the outside, and that will help with any algae growth. These amber jars will block UV rays from encouraging algae growth. And algae growth is bad because it takes away nutrients from the plant. So you do want to block sunlight somehow, either through paint, a layer of paint. White is best because it reflects light. And like I said, if you can get these amber jars, these are awesome. So how it works, it's this is just a baby seedling too, but you have it sitting in rockwool, and I'll show you the support system underneath in a second. And then the nutrients are there underneath, and then it's got a wicking mechanism that you can just put a wick that goes all the way, touches, I don't know if you can see it, but it touches the bottom, and it just wicks it up, and the roots grow down and wick up all those nutrients, and the plant grows. So I use Hydroponic as my mineral, A and B, part A and B. And then you'll need some perlite and rockwool. I start my seedlings first before I put them into the system, but you could technically use rockwool and put the seed in there and start it within it as well. You just want to make sure it's warm enough for the seedlings to germinate. I use tag. This is an old tag. Some sort of pin, and what I did is I just laid this down and traced it, and we're going to cut that out, and I'll show you what that's for here in a second. And then you'll need these net pots. I'll put a link to what size I use down below, and then this is just a strip of cloth from an old dish towel. So notice how it's long enough. It's cut long enough that it's going to reach the bottom of my jar, and that's going to be the wicking mechanism that comes to the top to give the roots water clear to the top. So I will cut out my little tag, and we'll do the next part. I don't know if you can see, but I've just thread through both sides of the letters in the bottom of this net pot. I threaded one part of my towel end and then the other part, and the loop is up because I'm going to put this guy underneath it, and I'll show you that real quick. Okay, so here's what I've done. The strip goes over the top of your little frame. It almost looks like a goalie post when it's all done, and you just want your wicking strip or your ribbon, whatever you're using. Like I said, I'm using a towel, an old towel that's clean, and that sits on top of our, we'll call it a goal post. Okay, so here you can see in the bottom of this net pot, this is why I like this particular net pot, because it has these larger letters in the center, and you can push your towel strip or your ribbon. If you do a ribbon, you want like a grosgrain or something that will wick up. But see how that's going through the C? The tip of that is just sitting in the C, and it's almost flush for the top of my net pot. And those are the letters it's pushed through. Next, we're going to put our rock wool so it sits right in our goal post. So we got our wicking strip touching that, and the goal post, our little cutout, is holding on to the rock wool. Now it's kind of wonky. It still moves side to side, but we're going to use perlite to kind of seat in around that so it doesn't wiggle so much. I'll show you how to do that next, but before I add perlite, I need to put this in my nutrient, in my mason jar. We're going to do 50 milliliters of Tower Garden Mineral Blend A and 50 milliliters of Tower Garden Mineral B, and we're going to add that to our jar. And then we're going to add water so that the water goes up to just under this lip. So here's part B. And then I'm going to go take this to my kitchen sink and fill it with water up to about here. So now I've filled it with cool water up to here. I've got my nutrients of 50 milliliters of part A and 50 milliliters of part B. Those mineral blends have all sorts of minerals that come out of the earth. There are no chemicals, and all those minerals are helpful to the plant's growth. And I have a Bib lettuce ready to go in, and we're just going to drop in our wick. And you notice our stand is kind of wonky. That's okay. We're going to add perlite in and around this, and I'm going to attempt to do this while I'm holding the phone. This perlite is pH neutral, and it just helps hold the plant in place, and it helps retain moisture as well. It's safe for horticultural. See how it says horticultural grade? That means you can grow food in it. Okay. And I'll finish this up and then show you final step is just to put on our lid, and we're going to take out the center and just use the O-ring, and that fits right over our net cup, just like this. Again, it might be a little hard to do it one-handed, but you just tighten that down, and that's it. You just let it do its thing and grow, and that wicking mechanism in there, the wick, you can see it goes all the way, it touches the bottom, and now that's going to pull up those nutrients. And the Kratky method is designed so that as this lowers, as the water level lowers, the roots there are oxygen, they get oxygen, and then they're deeper pulling up from the base. You'll find that when you pull your roots out, there's going to be a taproot that goes clear down. It's amazing how a plant knows how to seek out water. So even though it's wicking up, you'll have roots that touch the bottom, and this lettuce will look much bigger in 3 weeks, and I'll try and follow up with a follow-up video on that. And this can just sit in your windowsill, and that's it. That's all you do. If you need resources and links, I'll put those in the comments below, and let me know. Let me know if you like it and if you grow anything this way. It's a great tool to teach kids about how plants get nutrients from the water, and how even roots, just like above, the plant needs oxygen, the roots actually need oxygen too. So as this is used, the water's going to go down, those roots are going to get oxygen, and the plant will get to adulthood by the time this reservoir is used up. And that's it.